input operation. So in JavaScript, we learned about handling input operations. So we discussed by using here prompt, how to handle input. We learned prompt. So what is the prompt and how to handle prompt? One example we saw. Another important in handling input. So we can see how to handle input in JavaScript by using form input elements. Form input elements. So HTML form input elements. So that means how do we manage input by using HTML form input elements? So if we want the user to input a value and access the input value and use input value. So in JavaScript, we can use the value coming from form input elements. Output, we saw various methods. In input also, yesterday I told you about how to use prompt. And now, how do we deal with form elements? We will see. No need to explain form elements because already in HTML you learned. So we have text box, we have checkbox, we have radio, we have list box. So you have so checkbox, list box, radio, and input types. So many are there. So we can use the input elements like password, like email, and all these other options also. So this all comes under input elements, text area, etc. So by using these elements, we can handle input from the user. So let's see how we can do that, how we can design that. So how we can handle input from the form elements. Prompt is usually used when we don't want the input regularly. That means if input is not expected regularly, then we prefer using prompt, because only when necessary the prompt will pop up, right? The form input elements, let's observe. In different occasions, we will use them. In different occasions, we will use them. But initially, I will give you a basic example to understand how to handle the input, right? Let's. So yesterday, I given this example of prompt, how to handle it, right? Let's design another option, how we can handle input from other elements, right? Yeah. So what we are doing here is we are creating a new page, form input.html. Okay. So here we are displaying. We are using in the head section all link relation is equal to style sheet, and the href is node modules, bootstrap, dist css, bootstrap.css. Okay. And here I'm using in the bootstrap already we learned script source is node modules, and I use jQuery dist jQuery.js. And we are using script source and node modules. So in that we have bootstrap dist js bootstrap bundle.js. I hope you know the purpose of all these, right? Already we discussed about all this. But we are not directly dealing jQuery here. We will use JavaScript here. Actually, jQuery also can be done. But first we are dealing with JavaScript, and whatever we learned till now, we can utilize them, right? You can handle them. So initially, I will define the body. So here we have a class as container fluid. Okay. And here, let's keep a div. And here we will add a class form group. Okay. In the form group, we are adding some items inside it. So user can enter the details and handle the details. Right, we are providing some details here. Right? So in that, I'm adding a label and I say name. And below that, we have a text box. Input type is equal to text. Type is equal to text. And here we are using ID as txt name. Okay, class form control. Form control. We are using all our bootstrap knowledge, what we learned. So to design. And here we are adding another div class as a form group, and the label we are defining here just to understand various examples. That means various input options. So here we will define price. So div input type is equal to text. ID is txt price, and the class as form group. Okay. Sorry, form control. Okay. Control. Fine. That is another one. These are the two text boxes. And I will design another div. So class as form group. And here we are defining label as stock. Is in stock. Is in stock. I will keep a div. Here input type is equal to radio. You know, radio will have a name as stock, and the radio will have a value. Will have a value available. And here I defined as yes. Another input type is radio, and the name is stock, and value is out of stock. Okay, and here we defined no. Okay. Now here, this is radio, and the div class as form group, and the label. And here we are adding option like ship to, and we will put a drop down. That means select. We will add a class as form group, form control, and here option we are having option Delhi, and we are having option Hyderabad. And these options need a value. Value is Delhi, and the another option value is Hyderabad. Okay, and last final, I will define another div class as form group, and here we have a button and a register product and a class as BTN and BTN primary. Okay, so this is the design. So we created a form. And we defined the form like this. We have the product ID, name, price, all these details. And we designed this. Actually, how you keep the content depends on your requirement here. How we can display the content depends on the requirement. So for example, all this is present in a div. Okay. And this div have a class as box. This div is having a class as box, or simply say form. It is having a class called form. Product form, right? Product form. That is the class. So we have a product form, and in that we keep a heading saying that register new product. So, and we are saying register new product. We are keeping that one here. We are keeping that inside this product form container. In the container, we are keeping everything there. So generally, so we want to display here style. You can add additional styles here. In the style, I defined the product from dot product form. Product form is just a class. In that, I am defining a width. I'm defining width as some 300 pixel, and box shadow I'm defining as 2 pixel, 3 pixel, and 4 pixel. So dark cyan, okay. And border as 1 pixel, 2 pixel, solid, and dark cyan, okay. And border radius I defined as some 10 pixel, and I will keep this product form padding to 20 pixel. So here we have align items to center, and justify content to center like this. So that gives the product form in this way. That means you have a registered product. So I will give this as a registered product. Okay, and that is how it will display. Now the button I need to keep up to the margin. Then we have to use BTN block. BTN block will keep up to the end, right? Like this. Now this is a basic form that we have designed. Now whatever the values you entered, we want to display. In JavaScript, a lengthy approach we need to follow. Later in jQuery, you will find a simple approach. So you have to learn both techniques, because if anyone asks how you will do in JavaScript, you have to tell, because in jQuery, the effort is reduced. But a learner of JavaScript should know how to handle without JavaScript, jQuery. That's what we learned. We learned Bootstrap. When we learned Bootstrap, you may be thinking like, then why we wasted a lot of time in CSS? Because here it is ready-made. Because if you don't know how it actually does, then how you will later customize if you want to change it. That is the reason even jQuery library is designed in JavaScript only. Due to that, if you want to later customize jQuery, you need to be strong in JavaScript, understanding all situations. So currently, we will not use any jQuery. We will use general Bootstrap and general JavaScript techniques. We can do with jQuery also in some more better way. But without that also we should able to manage. That's the reason we need to know both of them. Let's see. Here the point is, when I click on register, I want to display the details of these products. Whatever the product details entered, I need to collect those details and display. Then how you manage that, how you can manage that, how we can keep that, right? So we need to define that, right? Because see here, when you are displaying this, suppose I say margin. So margin auto, we defined margin auto for that. It will display like this, center. It will be aligned to the center. Margin auto will keep it to the center. Now I click on register product. In Bootstrap, we learned about a concept how to deal with, if you remember, here I am adding after the final div, I am adding another div, and I will use a class as model. I will use a class as model. I hope you remembered how to use Bootstrap models. We discussed about how do we work with the Bootstrap model. So model will display a dialog pop-up. In the pop-up, we can display any content, right? So if you remembered Bootstrap model, then you remembered the approach how to deal with the model. So we are designing here a model. So here we are designing a model. Actually, so model will have a tab index -1 and model role as dialog. Model role is dialog. Inside that, we are using a div class as a model. Div class as model. Dialog it is, model dialog. And inside the model dialog, we have to keep div class as model content. You remembered all this. In the model content, we can keep here a div again class as a model header, a model header, right? We have to define a model header. And important is the model header. And here I will keep inside the header, we can keep some content. So I will keep a heading saying that product details. And this will be having a class as model title class. Okay. And here we are adding a close button for the model. That means, button button type is equal to button, and button class is equal to close, and cross. We kept that cross here. And you know that when the button is clicked, it has to close the model. Then we have to use data dismiss. Data dismiss is equal to model. It has to dismiss the model. Okay. And below this header, I am using another div, and we will put a class as this is model body, right? We need to define model body. We will design model body later, and I will create another div and a class as a model footer. In the footer, we have a button. So type as button. And here we can use class as btn and btn success. And here I will temporarily keep only one option is OK. So I will keep OK. And this also should close the model. I don't have any another button. This also should close. Then what we have to use is data dismiss is equal to model. Data dismiss, it has to dismiss the model, right? So we said OK, that is option. Here important is this model will have an ID as product details model. Okay. Now when the button is clicked, on the button click, I want to call this product details model. Which button click? Register button click. Then what you have to do here, we have to use the attributes like data toggle. We have to use data toggle. And what data toggle? Model. Okay. And we have to use data target. Data target is which one? The hash product details model. We have to define the data target. Product details model. That is the target. So this is how we design a model. Already we know how to define the model. And you know that this all works with jQuery plugins. These are all jQuery plugins. We are using these jQuery plugins. On register product, a model will come like this. And this is product details. And here I click OK, then it will be closed. Now what we want to do is, whatever the details entered here, we need to collect them and display inside this dialog. Right? Then how we can manage that? So here the point is, every inside the body, that is model body. Let's go to the model body. Inside the model body, I'm designing a table and a class as table and a table hover. And here we have t-head and tr in the th. So name, another one is price. So another one is stock. So here these three details we are defining. Those are the three, and shipped to, right? And shipped to. So we have shipped to. And important, here we want to display a table body. In that tr in the td. So ID as LBL name, another TD So ID as LBL price. Because we are displaying only one record, better we will keep the design in a different way, not like a table. We will keep side by side contents. That will be better instead of doing this. So what I will do is I will not keep any table header. I will not keep any table header. Let's do one thing. Directly we are designing table body. In the table body, so I am designing two cells, TR. Let's keep these two like this. TD, this is name. And beside it, I will give as ID, LBL name. Okay, another row, TD, that is price. And I will use TD and ID, LBL price. Remember, this table cell is accessible by using an ID. So where you want to display any content, you have to make sure that it is having an ID. Okay. So TR, another one is stock, and TD, ID, LBL stock. One more row, TD. I said shipped to, and TD. So ID as LBL shipped. Okay. Usually that is the design inside the model. I click on register product and the model will pop up like this. It have name, it have price, it has stock, shipped to, like this. Remember, right side we have details to display. Those details are currently empty because we haven't provided any details. Actually, what you can do is you can add, so here we can use a call group, am I right? Call group. Call group span is equal to 1, and the style I will keep as a background. So I will put a class here. Class as, so bg some info, then text white like this. So that means here actually, so I click on register, it will display like this, right? Table cells need to be displayed. So I will give here as BG, suppose I defined as, because directly inside that column group, we don't have text. That is the point. Okay. So here we will put BG some warning. Okay, like background warning. Fine. It will get that and display name, price, stock, shipped to. And those details right side we have empty. Nothing is defined inside it. Now what we need to do is when user clicks the register button, we need to collect the details of these text boxes, radios, drop down. That means user can input by using name, price, in radio buttons, drop downs, text boxes. We need to collect them and we need to handle them. How to handle them, doing manipulations on them, we will see later. We can learn a lot of programming in that we can use properly. Initially, so how do we collect? If you want to collect data entered, value entered inside these controls, you have to make sure that they are having proper ID. And for all of them, I given proper ID. Name text box is having an ID, txt name. Price text box is having an ID, txt price. And stock is not having ID, it is having name. And we also learned that we can access by using name. So stock, by using the name we can access, right? Or you can give an ID, right? Okay. And if you are doing that, you have to make sure that it is present inside a form. That's very important. So currently we don't have any form. I will just create a form. And this form also will have a name as FRM register. Okay. And make sure that all these are present inside the form. All these are inside the form. And when you are keeping anything inside the form, and make sure that this button type is a button. Otherwise, it will work like a submit button, right? Its button is type is this. And what is the ID for drop down? I will give an ID as LST cities or LST shipped to. Okay, that means LST shipped to is referring to drop down, and stock is referring to stock, and TXT price, TXT name. These are the IDs. When button is clicked, that means when this register button is clicked. So we have a register button. This is register button. When register button is clicked, so register button is above, right? Yeah. When register button is clicked, this is register button. When this register button is clicked, I want to collect the details. So that means for this register button, I have to write an event. On click is equal to register click. Register click is the function. We need to call register click function. So let's write the function here. I'm writing a script, and in the script, type is equal to text/JavaScript. Okay. And here we are writing a function. Function is register click. And here concept is very simple. We have to collect the value from text box with ID txt name, and we should display inside this table cell, and table cell ID is LBL name. I reasonably given. Labels are used for displaying and text boxes for input, right? So here text box can display, input, edit, all they can do. Here we want to just show inside this cell. So we have to display in LBL name. So we should collect that here. How? Document dot get element by ID LBL name. It is a cell. Inside cell, how you can display inner HTML. Okay, what you want to display? The value coming from text box txt name. So document dot get element by ID txt name. Txt name is a text box dot value, its value. That means whatever value entered in the text box is collected and it is displayed. It is displayed inside this label name. Label name is actually a table cell. Inside model, it is a table cell. So inside model, it is a table cell. Okay. Now similarly, document get element by ID LBL price dot inner HTML. Document get element by ID txt price dot value. That's fine. Okay. Now name and price are ready. Name and price are ready. Once refresh here and enter the name, some Samsung TV and some price. Other details we haven't designed. Click on register product. Those details will come here. That means in the model, we are displaying those details, right? The Samsung TV and the price. We are displaying them, right? Now click OK. That's fine. That is the details coming here. Similarly, we need to collect the value from this is in stock and display in that stock cell. Then what we have to do? So the stock cell, LBL stock. Yeah. let's write the logic here. Document dot get element by ID, LBL stock. LBL stock dot inner HTML is equal to what should be displayed inside it? The value coming from radio. And important, radios are not having any ID. Radios are having name. Sorry. Radios are having name. So name of the radio is stock. We can access by using name also, we learned, but their value is different. One radio is having a value available, another radio is having out of stock. So actually, how to collect by name, not get elements by name. Elements by name will get all the elements. I don't want elements, I want their name, value. Then they are present in a form called FRM register. And learned that in the last session we discussed. By using the reference name also we can access. But reference name means the problem is we have to follow the complete hierarchy of form. We have to define the complete hierarchy of the form. That is important. So here, how do we access here? Simple. What we need to do, we don't need any condition, anything. We can just use FRM register dot in that stock dot value. That's it. That means FRM register is referring to form. Inside the form, we have a radio called stock. And that value, because out of these two radios, only one will be selected. Because we given a common name and we know the rules that out of these two, only one will be selected. Then that selected value will be sent. That's it. We don't need any conditions or anything if we are using like this. Later we will see conditions also. But this is enough. We are getting element by ID for above. Here we are getting by using name. We can also get by ID, and we can increase a little bit logic more into that for that, right? Yeah. Now here I'm defining one more. Document get element by ID, that is LBL shipped to dot inner HTML. These are all table cells. Document dot get element by ID, LST shipped to dot value. What is LST shipped to? LST shipped to is a list box, right? Drop down box. LST shipped to is a drop down. In that, which value selected, that value will come. Now I will save this. We should be very careful because small capitalization issue comes, it will not work. The references should be proper. You have to make sure that everything is fine. How to handle that? If there are problems, I will tell you. See, I'm refreshing. I'm entering the name, some Nike casual shoe. Okay. And price, I defined some price. Is in stock? Yes. Shipped to some Hyderabad. And click on register product and it will display the details. Here, the shipped to is not accessible here. Why? Because I need to find out the error. F12, it will open the debugger. In the debugger, you can see that it is saying that cannot set property inner HTML of null. That means there is a problem in your form input HTML line number 22. You can directly click on that. It will take you to that particular line. It is saying that here we have a problem. That means the problem, read once carefully. It is saying that cannot set property inner HTML of null. Inner HTML of null. This indicates that. So at this location you have a problem. At this location we have a problem. What is the problem? Let's go there and observe here. So this is LST shipped to. That is the ID of drop down. Okay, good. And scroll down. Here it is LBL shipped. It is not LBL shipped to. That means we have a reference problem. That means the name that we are using is not the same. Actually, label name. What is the label name? So it is not LBL shipped to. It is LBL shipped. LBL shipped. Into that, the control from where the value is coming. LST shipped to the value is coming. That's how we can identify the problems if there is any problem occurred. Right? You go to the debugger and console and click on the line number. It will take you there. Observe the error what it is. It is saying that inner HTML cannot be set. Inner HTML cannot be set means it is saying that this shipped to is not a property to set any inner HTML. That means this is not recognized in order to set inner HTML. So that's what we have verified there. After verifying, refresh and save the changes and refresh and enter the details. So some Nike casuals and price here. And I defined some is in stock, yes, and shipped to Hyderabad, and click on register product and it will display that. And it says Nike casuals 5,400 and 5,044 and available Hyderabad. Say okay. So I'm changing here. Delhi is in stock. No. I click register product. It says out of stock in Delhi. You can change the price. So we are changing the price and submitting. That's updated here. This is just by using JavaScript we are managing. And the models, the pop-ups and everything, these are all designed by using jQuery Bootstrap. By using jQuery Bootstrap, we are using models and pop-ups that already we learned. No need to explain. Additionally, so we are writing some logic for this register button. What is the logic for register button? So register button is already having a jQuery plugin. So the jQuery plugin is by using data target and data toggle, it is able to on and off any model. It is able to on and off the model. Data toggle is model and data target is that particular model. And this model is having close button and OK button so that you can confirm that. See, you are in the beginning level. So we just learned how to handle input by using form elements. There are so many elements and we have to use all the elements according to requirement. We have checkboxes, we have radios, we have text boxes, text areas, input type, range, so many are there. And handling every control will not be so simple, because if you are using checkbox, we need to identify how many checkboxes are checked, which one checked. Based on that, we need to get those values. Always it is not so simple, right? It requires a lot of logic. So we need to write a lot of logic. But presenting and handling input this is what we have learned. That means how to design an HTML page that allows input dynamically. jQuery is used here for only Bootstrap support. Officially, program is not written in jQuery. We are writing JavaScript program. In jQuery also we can write. That you will see when jQuery comes. When you write in jQuery, this becomes little bit simple. That I will tell you when jQuery concept comes. So initially, without jQuery, we have to understand all the situations. And because already we learned Bootstrap, so we can utilize all those Bootstrap things to make the presentation better. And we can add additional our CSS whenever needed. So this is an example. How we can handle input from form elements. So it's very simple. Make sure that every form element is having an ID. So if not ID, at least it is having a name, right? So you can access the element by ID and display anywhere you want. Currently, I am displaying in a table, but you can use anything. In the model body, I am using table. You can use data list, data terms, data definitions. You can use a card style to display the details. You can even upload the pictures and display the pictures. A lot of things are there. But here our primary concept is to understand how to handle input by using form elements. And here we are using some additional effects to design our product form, to keep it short, to keep it center. So models will be displayed according to that. You can use alert also, I told you if you remembered. But what is the difference between alert and this is actually alert? What it does is alert will display inside the page a dialog. I need a pop-up like a dialog, right? So then we can better go with model. Alert will be inside the page, embedded into the page. Now this is a pop-up like a dialog will come here, right? So that is the basic input options how to handle. This is the example for handling input by using HTML form input elements, right? Here I used only few: text box, radio, drop down, and you can later use other options also, right? Once you know all these, that means in JavaScript now we are clear how to handle input, how to handle output, how to refer the elements, and everything is ready now. Now we can start the language basics. That means we need to learn the JavaScript language basics. Language basics like variables, data types, operators, statements, and OOP concepts. And while learning these language basics, we can design more examples and we can achieve real world scenarios. That's what our main intention is here. And that we will see tomorrow, right? Tomorrow we will continue with this. Today is enough with this example. This example I will upload. You try this example. If you face any difficulty in this, then let me know about it tomorrow so that I can solve your problems. You try to design more similar to this, not exactly this. You design with whatever Bootstrap you have learned so that you will get a more better idea, right? So if you can do that, then the variables, data types, operators, language basics, we will discuss tomorrow. Okay, thank you.